Welcome to my home. My name is Lisa, and this is Mysterious Mystical Moments, and today is Fear Friday. Now, this past Wednesday, I told you about some of the places in Colorado that you can go see. Now, when people say Colorado hotels, the first one comes to mind is the Stanley Hotel. Now, the Stanley Hotel, you may not really recognize that name, but you will recognize the surname or the other name that author Stephen King gave it to you as the Overlook Hotel in the movie and the book The Shining. Now, the Stanley Hotel, of course, is absolutely booked around Halloween because there are thrill seekers like myself who really want to go see ghosts. Some people say that the owner that built it, the man that owned it, F.O. Stanley, died in it in 1940, of course. And we all know the history of The Shining through the movie. There was actually a bartender named Grady who Stephen King put in there. There's rooms that you can get that was depicted in the movie. While Stephen King stayed there and was writing the book, he said that he could hear children playing in the hallways when there was no children, on that floor or anywhere. Just strange and unusual setting, and it's a beautiful, beautiful sight, to see. But if you really want to go, like most of us who are thrill seekers that are seeking out ghosts, that's one of the places that you would go and get a hotel room and stay at the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado. Now, I'm going to tell you about some of the other ones that are haunted in Colorado that didn't get such publicity, as you would say. Some of the weird but true and scary places that you may go and spend the night and enjoy the ghost hunting scene. The first one's going to be the Oxford Hotel. It's at 1600 17th Street in Denver. This has a story of Florence Montague, and she had killed her lover and herself while staying in room 320. Now, why was, I don't know if the story, there's no really backstory to that reason, why she killed her lover and herself. Maybe it was because he was leaving her, and it was the theory of, if I can't have you, no one else is going to have you. And then when she found out she killed him, she killed herself because she couldn't live without him. Who knows? But in that Oxford Hotel, there is people who stay in room 320 say that the sheets get ripped off of them. They get tugged at their feet. They wake up and find a woman standing above them at the end of the bed, staring down at them. Just, that'd freak you out. I mean, that'd freak me out. And I believe in all this stuff. Some say that their arms get pinned down. Now, there's a theory about when you have sleep paralysis is what it's called, or the old lady hag syndrome, or old hag syndrome, which you feel like an older lady who dresses like a hag, with stringy hair, and kind of like my hair, stringy hair, and evil looking, is holding you down, and you can't breathe and you can't move until you actually wake up from these dreams, and you're actually paralyzed. You can't move up, you can't talk, you can't say nothing. That's what they get, this kind of feeling of maybe it is Florence Montague holding them down. There's also a story of a postman who comes into the bar and orders a drink, a beer, And the bartender sees him drinking it, and starts talking to him. And he always says he has to get presents to his children. He has to get presents to his children. And as he gets up and leaves after he says this sentence, he gets up and leaves and vanishes out the door. But when the bartender goes and gets his glass, none of the beer has been touched. The glass is completely full, even though the bartender just seen him take drinks out of it while he was talking to him, and everything else, but the glass was completely full, untouched. Now that's really weird. The next hotel that I'm going to tell you about is Jerome Courtyard, and it was built in 1936, and supposedly a 10-year-old little boy had drowned in their swimming pool, the indoor swimming pool, and he appears to staff and to guests shivering and shivering, cold and wet, and trying to find some place where he can dry off and get warm. Now, that's so sad, to hear something like that. And then there's a rich man, dressed all in nice clothes and everything, and he died from a broken heart in one of the rooms. And because his girlfriend, his fiance, couldn't marry him because her father told her that she could not marry him. And so he died of a broken heart waiting for her. And he is supposedly there sobbing and crying and looking for her, for her to come and meet him so they could get married. Now that's a pretty heart-wrenching story too, to think of that. I've heard of people, and I've actually seen one person die of a broken heart, which you can die of a broken heart if you stop eating and you just give up on life. And then your body slowly just goes. And it's just horrible. Now, a wealthy Parisian count by the name of James Portels, I'm going to say, had built the hotel. Now, the hotel he had joined together with Spencer and Julie Penrose. Now, they were, of course, rich and blah, blah, blah. And the story where I'm going to is one of what happened to Julie and where was she and how did she die. Now, Spencer died in 1939, and Julie would stay at the penthouse while Spencer, of course, was away on business trips. But when he died, she permanently lived at the penthouse of this hotel. Now, she disappeared one night. Just completely disappeared into the woods that was adjoined to this hotel. And nobody found her, and they looked around the area and then by the lake and everything, thinking that maybe she took a walk down by the lake or whatever, and nobody could find her. Well, several days had went by, and they finally found her. She was shaking, and she was unrobed, as they said. She didn't have a robe on or anything. She was shaking and could not remember where she had been or how she got there into the woods. Now, they tried everything to try to, coerce her to say where she was, what happened to her, nothing. The police, everything was just like, where have you been? She just could not remember at all. Was she abducted by aliens where she couldn't remember how she got there or how she even, walked out of the hotel or whatever? But she couldn't remember. But the strange thing is she passed away later, 7 days after she was found. Now, what happened to her in the woods, nobody had ever found out. happened, and why would she pass away 7 days later? Did she pass away from pneumonia? Did she pass away from, being out in the cold and shaking and didn't have that much clothes on? Maybe she just had a nightie on or whatever, and she wasn't warm, but guests say that they see a woman dressed in 1930s dress has been seen floating down the hallway, and they see her at the front entrance of the hotel, greeting guests like she would normally do. So they think that this is indeed Julie Primrose. There was also another. She's not the only ghost in this hotel, as you can tell. But there was also a casino fire in 1897 where some people passed that hauntings, some people passed away in this fire on the hauntings, and it was struck by lightning. That's how the fire started, and burned down the casino part of the hotel. Now, people were throwing their luggage out the windows and trying to get out of the hotel, and everything else, and panic started, and it burned down to the ground. The hotel casino did, because it's like in separate sections. Just that hotel part, the casino part burnt down, and of course they reconstructed it and everything else afterwards, but they still have people say it smells like smoke, gambling, just strange and unusual parts, things like that. So that hotel was a part of that hotel, was the Broomoor Hotel where Julie Primrose had died. Now, the Broomoor Hotel is in Colorado Springs. Now, I am going to give you a little bit more extra on this video because of some of the other things that I will be doing on Sunday for Colorado. There are so many places that I really wanted to discuss in Colorado, and this is what's going to be on Sunday's episode. Now, it's going to be a few different places, like the Phantom Cannon in Cripple Creek, the Molly Brown House in Denver, the unsinkable Molly Brown, Central City Cemetery, and you have to go through several ghost towns to get through these places. So I really like to tell you a little bit about that on Sunday, on the 9th, Sunday the 9th. So please join me then and share some kindness, shine your beacon of light for those in the dark, because they need it.